Hey, I'm Sebastijan Jemec. Ryan Lewandowski and I were the designers of the booth for Siggraph 2008 in Los Angeles for Rome Reborn. We were led by Dean Abernathy, a professor of ours who we worked for at the Institute for Advanced Technology and the Humanities, also called IATH. We were asked to design a booth to show the Rome Reborn project, an archaeologically accurate digital 3D model of ancient Rome in the time of Constantine. Along with IATH, we had to design space for numerous other vendors who utilized the Rome Reborn model for their research and products. We initially started concept design early spring in Charlottesville, Virginia. So we had a little over a quarter year to go from design conception to execution. We were thinking of a way to show all this Roman imagery and not use classical architectural elements. So we came up with an abstract system of projection planes onto which Roman imagery would be projected to kind of show this relationship with the digital and the classical. The aesthetics and the design were inspired by a couple things. We had a very limited budget and very limited space and storage for transportation and building. It had to be very light and easily handled, so we decided to do a light modular design, trying to be as inexpensive as possible. We started prototyping in Charlottesville, Virginia at Milton Airfield, which belongs to University of Virginia. We had custom-made gusset plates, and we mocked up a couple of the modular elements to see if they would work. We constructed all the pieces of the booth in Costa Mesa, California, at our professor Dean Abernathy's house. We turned his garage into a wood shop for a couple weeks and built all the pieces, sanded all the plexiglass, milled all the woodworking ourselves, cut everything. Basically, the entire structure was modular, and we built every piece off-site, and we're planning on assembling it at the site. We had to fit everything into his pickup truck since we had a limited budget and limited transportation space. All the modules were then assembled in the Los Angeles Convention Center and pieced together to create the full booth. The projection wing was hung from a truss system that was hung from the ceiling of the exhibition hall in the convention center. We had to assemble all the pieces of the wing flat on the ground and then to raise them up piece by piece and then bolt them together in the air. Everything was made from a very raw material and had a very raw, minimalist aesthetic so that the Roman imagery could define the space. All the projection screens were hung from the ceiling of the exhibition hall in a sort of wing that was inspired by the Wright brothers airplane. We had a light wooden frame with fabric and plexiglass stretched over it onto which projections were shown. We wanted to have a light, transparent feel to everything that was hung from the ceiling and have a more monolithic and heavy feel for everything that was on the ground, such as the tables and benches, to kind of split up the space and ground the project, even though a lot of it was hung from the ceiling of the exhibition hall. We had a series of benches around the periphery of our site that were used for just general sitting area and general lounging and relaxation area because there was little area to rest in the exhibition hall at the convention center. We created this prominent wing that you would see when you first come into the convention center. We wanted the architecture to be visually interesting, but we didn't want it to take away from the technology. So essentially it was a framework and backdrop for these projections of digital Rome and for all the products and the research that various institutes and companies that were showing our model were doing.